Okay, welcome back again, students. So, we were calculating the shear stress of an I-beam at different points in different sections. So, in the previous two videos, I had already explained how to calculate the moment of inertia about this for this I-beam, and we had also discussed what the terminologies in the formula for the shear stress calculation, that is V, AY bar, and IB means. And in the second video, we had calculated the values of shear stress for this point B in the flange as well as in the web. Okay, and today what we are going to do, today we are going to calculate the shear stress at point C. Okay, coincidentally point C is also lying on the neutral axis of this IB. Clear? Now let's go into the calculation. Okay, so the basic formula that we have is V into AY bar divided by I into B. Okay, V is known to you, it will be given in the problem, that is it is equal to 50 kilonewton, or if you convert it into newtons, then it is going to be 50 into 10 to the power 3 newton. Okay, I is the moment of inertia, it has been calculated as 1.08 into 10 to the power 8. Okay, now shear stress at point C. Where is point C lying? See, point C is lying on the web. It is not lying on any of the flanges. Initially, we had taken a point which was lying both in the web as well as in the flange. But the point C, it is lying, firstly, it is lying on the neutral axis, and secondly, it is lying only on the web. Okay. So the width of the section which you have to take into calculation, consider for your calculation, is the width of this web, which is equal to how much? It is equal to 20 millimeters. The confusing or the most complicated part of this problem is how to calculate the moment of area, that is this term AY bar, the moment of area. Okay, moment of area AY bar. Now see, what is my moment of area? I think I had told you in the other videos. Okay, I will just copy paste this writing, Control X. Okay, we'll copy paste it here. So AY bar is the moment of area of the section above the point at which shear stress is to be calculated. So first you have to know or identify the point. Okay, so this is your point C. This is where you have to calculate the shear stress. Now you have to check the section which is lying above this point. So the section which is lying above this point is this. Okay, so it is a small t section which is lying above this point C. So you have to calculate the moment of area about this entire section which is lying above C. So how do you do that? Okay, the simplest way to calculate the moment of area of these two sections is by the summation rule. How? You have to calculate the moment of area of this section separately. You have to calculate the moment of area of this flange section separately, and then you have to simply add up the moment of area of these two sections, that is the half of the web and for the flange, then that is how you are going to calculate AY bar. Okay, so let's see. So here also we have the same I-beam and the dimensions are also given here, and let me write it down. Okay, it's bad. Okay, so AY bar is equal to, okay, first let us consider the web part. Okay, the half of the web. Okay, see, the total depth of the web is 200 mm. So how much is this much going to be? Okay, this much is 100 mm. This here it is, oh, shoot. This part is 100 mm. Clear? What is the thickness of this web? The thickness here is 20 mm. So let me write down the area. That is 100 into 20 mm. Now what is y bar? Y bar is the distance of the centroid of this section from the neutral axis. What is my neutral axis? This here, this line here represents the neutral axis. This line is the neutral axis here. And where is the centroid of this web section line? The centroid should lie somewhere in the middle. Okay, it's not really the middle, but let us assume this is where the centroid of this web section is lying. So how will you calculate this distance? See, if this entire thing is 100 mm, since it is a symmetric web, if this entire height is 100 mm, then if you simply divide the 100 by 2, you are going to get this height also. Okay, so this much is 100 by 2, that is equal to 50 mm. Sorry, 50. Okay, I will simply write it as 50 mm. Okay, 50 mm. Let me show it with an arrow. So this much is 50 mm. See, this is the distance between the centroid of this web and the neutral axis. This is 50 mm, and this is the y bar of this web section. Y bar of this web section, right? So we have to multiply 100 by 2. Okay, so we are done with the web part. Now we have to go back to the flange part. So for the flange, you had already calculated the moment of area with respect to this neutral axis. Very simple. So plus what is the area of this flange? 150 into 25. 150 into 25. And what is the distance between CG of this flange and the neutral axis? It is 100 plus 25 by 2. 100 plus 25 by 2, that is 112.5. Okay, so if you calculate it, the value is coming out as, I have already done the calculation, the value is coming out as 5.219 into 10 to the power 5 millimeter cube. Okay, this is coming out as 5. Equal to 5.219 into 10 to the power something 5 or something, don't remember, 5 millimeter cube. Okay, so you have to simply plug these values in the expression. You have to simply plug this value. Okay, the same calculation is already given on the screen, so I'm now clearing all the drawings. Now put the value of a y bar in this equation. Put the value of v. You know I, you know the width of the section at which shear stress has to be calculated. And if you do the calculation, it's coming out as 12.08 Newton per millimeter square. Okay, so initially we had calculated the shear stress for point B in the flange. We had calculated the shear stress, the value of shear stress for point B in the web. And now you are calculating the shear stress for point C, which is lying on the neutral axis. So if you compare all these three values of shear stress at three different points, you can see that the maximum value of shear stress is occurring at the neutral axis, which is 12.08. So for any section, be it a T section, be it a rectangular section, okay, be it a circular section or an I section like this, the maximum value of shear stress will always occur at the neutral axis. This is a very, very crucial and important point, often asked in interviews or other examinations, right? So now what you have to do, you have all the three values, okay, of shear stress, and you have to plot the shear stress distribution for the I-beam. Okay, so initially, if you calculate the shear stress at the top most level of the flange, any of the flange, either the top flange or the bottom flange, the value of shear stress is going to be 0. Next, you were calculating the shear stress of point B in the flange. Okay, so this is my point B, and for the flange the value came out to be how much? 1.302 Newton per millimeter square. So what do you do? From 0 you increase the value of shear stress to how much? 1.302. Okay, this is my 1.302. Okay, now see, at the same point B, at the same point, that is B, you were again calculating the shear stress for the web, not in the flange. For the web, again you were calculating the shear stress, and that value has come out to be how much? 9.76 Newton millimeter square. So at the same point, the value of shear stress at the flange is much lower than the value of shear stress at the same point at the web. Okay, so the value of shear stress for the web has increased to how much? 9.76. so first you have plotted 0, then you increase the value of shear stress to 1.302, then again for the same point, or for the same level, that is this level, the value of shear stress has been increased to 9.76. 9.76. Then again, as you go to the neutral axis, as you traverse the neutral axis, okay, the values of shear stress goes on increasing. Okay, it goes on increasing, and just at the neutral axis you get, or you obtain the maximum value of shear stress, which is equal to 12.08 Newton per millimeter square. Now please don't take for granted, don't take these values as granted, because if the dimensions of this I-beam changes, this value will also change. But whatever, even if the dimension changes for an I-beam, the maximum value of shear stress will always occur at the neutral axis. So sometimes in interviews it is often asked to draw the shear stress distribution for an I-beam. So what you have to do, you have to remember the basic pattern, the basic shear distribution diagram. You don't have to write down these values, but remember the pattern or the shape of the shear stress distribution. At the bottom level and at the top level, the shear stress distribution is 0, and for the neutral axis the shear stress distribution is positive, and for the junction, at the junction of the flange and the web, the shear stress distribution increases to a certain level. Okay, so now again, if you calculate the shear stress distribution for point somewhere here, okay, the value is going to decrease, and again if you calculate the shear stress at a point that is lying here, but for the flange the shear stress will further decrease to this 1.302, and then again for the bottom it will decrease to 0. So this is your shear stress distribution diagram. Okay, so goodbye students, see you in the next video.